Part 1. Why do we love people we don't love back? Why does the heart lie? Why does the mind stay silent? Why do we make promises we can't keep? And why does the truth arrive only after someone gets hurt? These questions haunted me the night everything changed. It was 3:14 a.m. She was sleeping beside me, hand on her small baby bump, smiling in her dream, loving me without knowing the storm inside my chest. I watched her breathe, slow, soft, peaceful, and I whispered to myself, I don't love her, not the way she loves me, not the way a husband should. The guilt hit me like fire, burning, crushing, killing. She waited years for this love, fought her own family for me, left her comfort to start a life with me. She called me her peace, her home, her forever, and here I was, her husband, the father of her unborn child, feeling nothing but emptiness. It wasn't always like this. At the start, everything felt warm, new, hopeful, like maybe love could grow if I just tried enough. I tried. God knows I tried. I married her because she deserved loyalty, respect, commitment, and I thought those things were enough to build a future. But love is a different language, a different weight, a different pain. You can pretend, you can fake it, you can smile for the world, but your heart always knows the truth, and mine whispered it to me that night. I didn't love her, not deeply, not honestly, not fully, and the worst part, she loved me enough for both of us. She touched her belly and said in her sleep, our baby will look like his father. My breath broke, because I knew something she didn't. I wasn't the man she believed in. I wasn't the dream she held on to. I wasn't the future she imagined for our child. I was a mistake she didn't know she made yet, a mistake growing bigger inside her every day. I sat on the edge of the bed, hands shaking, heart choking, and in that moment, I realized the truth that ruined me. I wasn't a bad husband. I wasn't a bad father. I was worse. I was a man who didn't love the woman carrying his child. And the story starts from that guilt. Part 2. How do you break someone who trusts you? She woke up before sunrise, hair messy, eyes sleepy, but smiling like her whole world lived inside me. Good morning, she whispered softly, and my heart cracked a little more. She made breakfast, held my hand while pouring tea, talked about baby names, future plans, our first family photo, our new house. And I nodded, smiled, pretended. Because how do you tell a woman, a gentle, innocent, hopeful woman, that you don't love her after she has already given you everything? She sat close to me on the sofa, placed my hand on her belly. Feel it, she said. The baby moved. I didn't feel anything, not in my palm, not in my heart, but I lied. Yes, I felt it. She looked at me, with tears in her eyes, happy tears, pure tears, tears that had no idea how painful the truth was. Then she said something that destroyed me completely. I always feared you would stop loving me one day. I'm so glad it never happened. My breath froze. How could I break her? How could I destroy her dreams? How could I tell her the truth? She trusted me blindly, loved me blindly, believed in me blindly. I watched her laugh. I watched her talk to the baby. I watched her plan our entire future with hands full of hope. And suddenly, my guilt became a monster, a living, breathing monster that followed me everywhere, at work, at home, at night, in the shower, in my prayers. Because loving someone who loves you back is easy. But pretending to love someone who worships you, that is torture. And every time she held my hand, every time she kissed my forehead, every time she looked at me like I was her whole world, I died a little inside. I kept asking myself, should I hide the truth forever? Should I stay and raise the baby? Should I pretend until I become the man she thinks I am? Or should I break everything before it breaks me? But breaking her meant breaking a future she cherished. Breaking her meant breaking a home she built with dreams. Breaking her meant breaking the child who didn't even open their eyes yet. And still, every day the truth grew louder. I don't love her. Not the way she deserves, not the way she believes. And every second I stayed silent. I was betraying her more than anyone ever had. Part 3. The night she read my diary, she came into the room quietly, holding something in her hands. My diary. Her eyes were red, her lips trembling, her fingers shaking. "Is this true?" she whispered. My heart fell, because inside that diary was the confession I never meant for her to see. Page after page, line after line. My truth was written there, that I didn't love her, that I felt empty, that I was trying but failing, that I was scared of hurting her, that I didn't know how to tell her, that I felt like a prisoner in my own marriage. Her voice broke. So all this time, it was only me? I couldn't speak. She walked toward me, slowly, like someone walking toward a storm, toward a fire, toward the truth that burns. She placed my diary on my chest. "You should have told me," she whispered, "before the marriage, before the promises, before the baby." Tears rolled down her cheeks, not loud, not dramatic, just soft, devastating, silent, the type of tears that come from heartbreak so deep it doesn't even make noise. She touched her belly. "Our child," she said, "was created with love I thought you felt." I broke, completely. "I didn't want to hurt you," I said, choking. "You hurt me anyway," she replied. Then she said something worse than anger. "You could have pretended better." Those words stabbed me. She wasn't angry that I didn't love her. She was hurt that I didn't even try hard enough to hide it. She sat on the floor, hands covering her face, crying like someone whose entire world just collapsed. "I thought I was your forever," she whispered. "I thought I was your home." I knelt beside her. "I'm sorry," I said. "I'm so sorry." But apologies don't fix emptiness. They don't fix broken promises. They don't fix a heart that spent years loving a lie. She looked at me slowly, eyes swollen, voice hollow. "What do we do now?" she asked, and I had no answer. Because love can be faked, but a broken heart cannot be repaired with the same hands that broke it. She stood up with difficulty, held her belly, and said, "I won't let our child feel unloved. Even if you don't love me, you will love them." Then she walked away, and for the first time, I understood what real loss feels like. Part 4. The day she packed her bags. The house felt different, colder, quieter, heavier. She didn't look at me for days, didn't speak unless necessary, didn't smile, didn't sit near me. She became a stranger living in my home, a stranger carrying my child. One morning, I heard the sound of a suitcase, zippers, clothes being folded, drawers being emptied. I rushed to the bedroom. She was standing there, packing her life away. "Where are you going?" I asked. She didn't look up. "Somewhere I can breathe." My chest tightened. "You're leaving me?" "No," she said coldly. "You left me long before I packed these bags." I stepped closer. "You don't have to go. We can fix this." She stared at me with a dead expression. "Love is not a thing you fix like a broken chair." Then she placed her hand on her belly. "I won't raise my baby in a home built on loneliness." Her words slashed through me. "You think I won't take care of you both?" I asked. "I don't doubt your responsibility," she whispered. "I doubt your heart." She zipped the suitcase, wiped her cheeks, and said, "You will always do the right thing." but you will never love me the right way. That destroyed me. Please, I whispered, don't go. She looked away. If I stay, I will hate myself every day for not being enough for you. I reached for her hand. She pulled it away, and that hurt more than anything. Then she said something soft, something fragile, something that broke even the walls. I don't want to teach my child what one-sided love looks like. I sank to the floor, crying, begging, holding on to her clothes like they were my last breath. She knelt in front of me, placed her palm on my cheek, her voice gentle. I know you're trying, but your heart doesn't lie, and I won't force you to love me. She kissed my forehead, a goodbye kiss, a heartbreaking one. Then she stood up, grabbed her bag, and walked to the door. Before leaving, she turned back. You weren't a bad man, she said. You were just not mine. And she left, and the house that once felt too small suddenly felt like a desert. Part 5. Healing begins when truth stops hurting. Months passed. The silence of the empty house became a punishment I lived with daily. No laughter, no soft footsteps, no late-night cravings, no warm voice calling my name. Just me, my guilt, my memories, and the echo of her last words. You were just not mine. I visited her one day, not to take her back, not to force anything, just to see if she was okay. She opened the door slowly. Her belly was bigger now, her eyes calmer, her smile softer. She looked healed. Can I come in? I asked. She nodded. We sat across from each other, not as lovers, not as husband and wife, just two people learning how to breathe again. I want to be in the baby's life, I said. I know, she replied. Can we try again? I whispered. She looked down, took a deep breath, and said the most honest thing I ever heard. You don't need to love me to love our child, and I don't need to be your wife to be a good mother. I swallowed the pain. You deserve someone who loves you completely, she continued, and I deserve someone who never has to pretend. Her words were not knives anymore. They were truth, pure truth. She placed my hand on her belly, and for the first time, I felt the baby move, a small kick, a small life, a small forgiveness. I want our child to grow up knowing two happy parents, she whispered, not two broken ones. And in that moment, I finally understood. Love is not always forever. Sometimes love is letting someone find the forever they deserve. I looked at her, really looked. She was stronger now, wiser, braver, and I realized she didn't need me to love her. She needed me to be honest. We agreed to co-parent, to be kind, to be peaceful, to be present, not because we failed, but because we learned. Love is not ownership. Love is not forcing the heart. Love is not binding two unhappy souls together. Love is truth, and the truth was simple. I didn't love her, but I loved our child, and she loved herself enough to walk away from a man who never could. As I left her house, I whispered a prayer for her healing, for our child, for myself, and for the courage to accept that sometimes the most painful truth is the beginning of a better life.